Fire Emblem. It's a great game series, and with it, some wonderful characters have emerged. For example, Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening. But to all you die-hard Fire Emblem fans, what if I told you Awakening wasn't the first time Robin was in a Fire Emblem game? Welcome everyone, I'm your host, GSmith624, and today, this is the first episode of my game theories things. I don't have a title for it yet. Regardless, we're here to talk about a Fire Emblem theory. More specifically, Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening. To the viewers who don't know the full story of Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Blazing Sword, spoilers ahead. If you're still here, I'm guessing you're fine with the spoilers. So let's start with Awakening stories first. When we first meet Robin the Tactician. We first meet Robin in the premonition of Fire Emblem Awakening, where we see him stab the main lord of the game, Chrom, through the chest with a lightning bolt. Roughly 2 minutes later, Robin is being woken up in the middle of a field by the person he just stabbed in the chest, making us assume it was a dream.
See, you're awake now.
Hey there.
There are better places to take a nap than on the ground, you know. Give me your hand.
When asked for his name, he can barely remember it though. In fact, he has full-blown amnesia, except for 3 things. His skill and tactics, his name, and Chrom's name. Now, let's take a step back here from Awakening real quick and head over to the Fire Emblem Blazing Sword side, also known as Fire Emblem 7. We start the game awoken by a woman named Lindis, Lynn for short. She found us passed out in the field and carried us to safety, where she asks about who the player is. The only thing the player unit remembers, however, is his name and once again, his skills and tactics. But wait, where have we heard that before? Seems a little convenient, if you ask me. In fact, my dear viewers, we aren't the only ones that put this together, though. Lynn herself did it as well. Well, she kind of did. Her Einjarjar self did in the Fire Emblem Awakening DLC, Smash Brethren 3. Now, if you don't know what an Einjarjar is, to save some time and put it in simple terms, it is the phantom memories of a hero of legend, which can be summoned to help you to fight. When Einjarjar Lynn takes a single look at Robin, though, she says, "You remind me of someone very dear to me." She then asks you 2 questions. If the player answers yes to both of them, she is convinced the player is Mark, aka the Tactician from Fire Emblem 7. However, even if you say no to Lynn, she is still convinced, however not as much, that you are the same person from Fire Emblem 7. Now here's the interesting thing though. She's right. Robin is Mark. You see, after the events of Blazing Sword, the Tactician goes missing, never to be seen again. How is that possible, though? How can one man go and disappear without a trace when he has 3 kingdoms looking for him? We have the kingdom of Lycelia, the kingdom of Bern, and the kingdom of Eteria, all looking for where the Tactician has gone. However, no one can find him. Why is that? It's simple, really. He went to another realm. Another world. If you recall, there is a portal discovered to another world at the end of Fire Emblem 7, which is inhabited by humans, dragons, and human-dragon hybrids known as Manicotti. Something that Robin is also. Well, he kind of is. He only has the blood of a dragon running through his veins. To be specific, the fell dragon, Grima. This is important for later. The portal, however, most likely leads to a place called the Outer Realms. The Outer Realms is a portal that leads to multiple other worlds, which we have seen in multiple Fire Emblem games already. We've seen it in Fire Emblem Awakening and the latest installment, Fire Emblem Fates. This is not the first time the Outer Realms have existed, and it wouldn't be that far of a stretch to say that portal leads to the Outer Realms. Now, the next interesting thing I want to make a note of is the Tactician's age and Robin's age in each game. The Tactician in Fire Emblem 7 is estimated to be around 16 to 18, and Robin's age is estimated to be 20 at the beginning of Awakening, and the Tactician is estimated to be 16 to 18 at the beginning of Fire Emblem 7. Now, the reason this is so interesting is the whole span of Fire Emblem 7 takes place in 3 years. When you first are found, that is the start, and after 3 years, the game ends in game time. So, if the Tactician was 17 when the events of Fire Emblem started, 3 years later, when he disappears, never to be seen again, he would mean he would be 20. Coincidentally, that's the same age as Robin is in Awakening. Another key point about this theory that I want to point out is the fact Robin has been confirmed to travel to multiple worlds already. With his appearance in Smash Bros. 4 mentioning how this is not his home, but he will fight for his friends, and if you don't think that is a good enough source, well then, his appearance in Fates, where he's once again lost his memory. After being teleported to the Fates world, Robin once again loses his memories of who he is, and all he can remember is his, once again, tactics and his name. Now see, the interesting thing about Robin, though, is when you go to fight him to recruit him, his setup for the fight is himself, a healer, a mercenary, and a great knight. Now the interesting thing about that is the same 3 units Chrom, Frederick, and Lisa are the beginning 3 units you find in Awakening, which is a nice little nod, and also proves he still has memories of his past life, if only somewhat. Now, the big thing, though, about Fire Emblem 7 to Awakening, though, is how did Robin get there? Because Robin was born in the Awakening world. So how did he go from Awakening to Fire Emblem 7, then back to Awakening? And the answer, again, is given to us in-game by his father. His father mentions how his mother didn't want him to become the embodiment of Grima, so she fled the castle with him when he was a child, using the Outer Realm portals to get to the Blazing Sword worlds, where his mother passes away, leaving him alone in the new world. He grows up there before Grima tries to enact his influence over him, causing him to lose his memories and be found by Lyn in the field. You may be asking yourself, how can Grima do that, though, to Robin, and why would Grima be after Robin in the first place? Well, after we have found this out in the Future Past DLC for Awakening, Robin was born for the sole reason of being Grima's new vessel for the world. And after claiming Robin's body for himself, he sends his future self back in time to try and corrupt Robin much sooner than he originally did, which fails, causing Robin to lose his memories. Again. But back on track. After the events of FE7, Robin heads through the portal after getting some of his memories again from his journey with Lyn. He decides to head back home, back to his home world, where he is once again struck by Grima's influence, causing him to lose his memories of his time with Lyn and them. Only to be found, roughly 20 minutes later, by Crom and company. It isn't until, with the shepherds, he goes to the Outer Realms once again and meets the Einjarjar Lyn that he hears about. He starts to remember Lyn and her story, because she'll ask you about it, and then the player can reply yes or no, and if you reply yes, it means Robin does remember this. Now, the big thing you may be asking, though, is how can there be an Einjarjar Lyn if Einjarjars are phantoms, and Lyn is still alive in this theory? Well, the answer is once again given in-game by Old Hubba, the Guardian of the Outer Realms. The Outer Realms time flows completely differently than any other worlds out there, which is implied it is alternate timelines. So, it also explains how you can recruit your friends' versions of Robins for your army. If you remember, when you street past your friend when playing, if you both owned Awakening, their avatar and their army would appear on your world map for you either to buy items from, recruit to your army, or fight for experience. Similarly, the Einjarjars don't have to be from the same timeline. This is shown in further DLC when there is multiple versions of Lyn and Erica from Fire Emblem 8 on one map fighting at the same time. But back to Robin and Mark, though. If you need even more proof, look at the overworld sprites of both tacticians, and you'll notice that they have quite a few similarities. And also, on top of that, of everything I've just pointed out, if you want even more proof, both Mark and Robin's starting birth month is January. In fact, it is January 1st. Both of their birth dates are January 1st, at least before you change it in-game if you so choose. But hey, this is all just a theory. And if you agree with this theory, tell me down below. If you think it's dumb, tell me down below. And I want to say, thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, GSmith624, and I'm signing out. Farewell, guys.